Thank you, dear viewers, for staying with Nile TV International, and we're still covering the Sharm el-Sheikh Gaza ceasefire deal. And with us now live over Zoom is Dr. Ahmed Mostafa, the international relations expert. Dr. Mostafa, thank you for joining us. And good evening, sir. And first question is this a ceasefire deal? That's the first phase of the peace deal, or is this the end of the war and the start of something new in the region? Is this just one phase, or is this the end of the war and the start of peace? Dr. Mustafa.
Good evening. First of all, good evening to all my viewers and all the audience that are following this special series in the commemoration of the victory and agreed victory of 6th October 1973, and that's coinciding with, the peace talks and the ceasefire talks in Sharm el-Sheikh on our land. And for the first time, we found top-level personas from Hamas just roaming freely in Sharm el-Sheikh, joining, the guards from Egypt, and it is the first time for them to do such issue, which is unprecedented for them, neither in Doha nor in Turkey or any other place worldwide. This is itself like a victory for the Egyptian regime itself and the Egyptian security itself. And it is like a strong message to Israel that Egypt is the strongest country in the region, and Egypt, via such initiative, restoring its rule as the stakeholder and the mother country and the decision maker in the region, with regards and respect to all the mediators, including, of course, Turkey, Qatar, Pakistan, Indonesia, Iran, whatsoever country. But this, initiative proves that Egypt is still the scale holder and the main peacemaker in the region, and without Egypt, nothing like this historical moment would never take place. This is exactly what I want to say. Concerning your question, whether it is, a matter of the end of the war or things like that, I think this is a peace process or a ceasefire process with a false equations, because as we see today, it's still the cabinet in Israel. They don't believe what's going on, and they don't leave the full support of the whole country to the Egyptian will and to the mediators' will in this regard before they try to having meetings for 3 times or more without voting on the final decisions, because it was unexpected. It was like a big defeat for them. Therefore, we don't have to maybe exaggerate in the joy and happiness, but what happened is like a big victory in this regard. But at the same time, we have to take the big questions during this, critical, phase, and we should put all the scenarios, because as we know, it's still, the regime, this fanatic and the Zionist regime in Israel, allowing to pilgrims to go to the plaza of Al-Aqsa Mosque with the other, fanatics. They're still attacking, some parts of Gaza, and they didn't stop until, the deal is taking place. Therefore, all such issues should be considered as a equation in the future, because we have a previous, scenarios with America and Israel, including and not limited to a country that is allied to the United States. I mean, Qatar. Once they bombarded Qatar, and Qatar, it has the biggest, American base in the region. This is why we have to take our equations and play on all the scenarios. And also, in the matter of the Nobel Prize, I think the Nobel Prize should go to the mediators, including and not limited to, of course, and headed by Mr. Sisi and the others, as well as the people of the flotilla from the Mediterranean country who tried to break the blockade of Gaza but unfortunately they were faced and countered by, a strong force from, and brutality from the Zionist entity behind us, beside us.
Yes, Dr. Mostafa, indeed, there is no question, as you mentioned, about the role played by Egypt, by Qatar, and by Turkey, and by the peoples of the world, like the hundreds of brave men and women in the flotilla, like the Spanish protesters, the Italian protesters, the British protesters, the French protesters, like the Colombian position, or the Brazilian position, or the South African position, who took the Israeli war crime suspect to the International Criminal Court. My question here, sir, is, again, is this just one phase, or we're going to have peace? Because there are sticking points in the second phase. I mean, Mr. Trump said a short time ago that they will be discussing disarmament in the second phase. And we've heard Hamas say that no Palestinian would accept to disarm as long as there is an occupation. At the same time, there is talk about this Trump-Blair Peace Council. And this also, I mean, many Palestinian factions are against this. So what do you think? I mean, how difficult will it be to move forward? Or maybe with the work of the mediators, with Mr. Trump winning the Nobel Peace Prize, this will make it easier. I mean, what do you think?
I think the Egyptian and the mediators, they played a very critical role in this, because they try their utmost just to reach the best solutions for the Arab party, especially for Hamas in this regard. And I think President Sisi and the mediators were very clear in the matter of the ceasefire first, the backward of Israel to specific lines, and also the swap of, the hostages, and, the top-level personas in the Israeli business, like Mr. Barghouti, and the others who are on the third level, and they were refused, but being managed just to accept it. But as I told you, it is like a marathon, debates just to promulgate the final, drafts of this, ceasefire and process. But more or less, as long as Trump is thinking of, obtaining Nobel Prize, and we don't know exactly what is the reality of this situation, because maybe the Nobel Committee completed the full selection of this. But in my view, there will be others who are deserving Nobel Prize as well, as I told you, in this regard. Because all the parties, they played hard, and they did the most effort needed just to make this scenario as good as possible. And also the matter of, the ruling regime in Gaza post, the talks. This is also another, marathonic talks in this regard, because as we heard, it will be like representatives from all the factions of Palestine, including Gazans and the other from not only from Hamas and Fatah and the others, with just perfect efficiencies and experts from all the factions over there, which is the best for them. But we, and of course, there is kind of course, agreed disapproval even from our side, just to bring like war criminals like Tony Blair or things like that to be like responsible for, the next phase concerning the ruling regime in Gaza and so on, because it is already refused from our side. We have to wait, and as I told you, it's supposed to be like a joy with a preparation until we find this white smoke coming, and we know maybe also, as we heard from Trump himself, that he's eager to come to the Middle East, and Mr. Sisi already addressed an invitation to him to come. Maybe he just wants to give more, issues in that respect once he comes. And he was talking about also Iran in that respect. And we hear that Mr. Putin, he had like some leaks a little bit before, telling that Israeli side mediated just to give a good remarks to the Iranians that we are not escalating in the future, which is another good factor and is going to make much more settlement in the region, in a region that was volatile over the past 2 years, thanks, the commemoration of the start of the 7th of October a couple of years ago. Therefore, we should wait and see.
Yeah. Dr. Mostafa, what do you think of the France meeting today, discussing, of course, Gaza, the deal, and the future Palestinian state, and the momentum that has been carried from the UN General Assembly and the recognition of the Palestinian state? Egypt believes that, and has been saying this for decades, that the only way for just and lasting peace in the region is the two-state solution. According, of course, to international resolution, UN resolutions and international legitimacy. But the United States and Mr. Trump today, despite his Gaza plan and his peace plan for Gaza, he said that he has no opinion on the two-states issue. And of course, Israel, the war crime suspect premier, and many inside Israel, not just the right, but across the board in Israel, they don't believe in the two-state solution anymore. So how can we move forward? How can we move forward?
Here, the rule of strong diplomacy is working. Because there is a lot of the swaps and bargaining and trade and trading off between the two sides, because it is not a direct, process, as you know, because Hamas delegation is in one place and the Zionist delegation in another place, in Sharm el-Sheikh.
Yeah.
Which is similar to the process that was taking place between America and Iran in this regard, that was taking place in Oman a few months ago. Therefore, it is, as I told you, it's marathonic, it's hectic. As you know, the Israelis, and this is like their characteristics that is already mentioned even in the Quran. They are not accepting even what Prophet Moses recommended them concerning the matter of the cow, concerning even the presence of Allah, and they replace Allah by having this golden bull or things like that, according to this Sumerian guide, as per the verses of the Quran. We know the characteristics of the Zionists. And of course, also here, I think there are two Zionists existed from America in Sharm el-Sheikh. I mean, Jared Kushner and Witkoff, and both of them, they should understand very well and perfectly that the Egyptian side will never waive the elementary and the basic line rights for our Palestinian brothers. Because once the Palestinian settlement is taking place, the whole region will have a settlement, and it will help in the prosperity of the region. Because we are suffering a lot. We are suffering a lot from, the COVID. We were suffering a lot from, the trade war. But even today, I think Trump is backwarding. And even with China, it's the first time just to talk about China politely, and he said that I was talking to our Chinese partners, and we got some promises that it can, solve and settle some suspended issues between each other, the matter that will make the whole world coming more prosperous in the future. I think here the political economy and the economic side and the domestic situation, because I hear a lot with Tucker Carlson, and he's one of the best, analysts and a top-level media man in America. And Tucker Carlson is just giving a greater warning from a civil war inside the United States, because the people themselves, they don't like each other anymore because of this sectarian, conflict and things like that, or the strategic conflict and things like that within the United States itself. There are a lot of pressures coming from within, indebtedness, the matter of the tariffs that is made America backward, not getting any progress in this regard, adversely what some of Trump assistant or secretary said or lied today, the matter of the work permission that made most of the efficient people and professional people back to their home countries. China that made this new, migration law that accepting the efficiencies and the professional people to come to China with the highest ever, pay and so on. Therefore, the competition is so high. Also, Russia and what's doing with the EU in this regard, and we heard about, a kind of a progress of the hostility between the two sides, Russia and Europe. And of course, NATO is apart and America is apart, and he doesn't like to make any problems with Mr. Putin, because Putin he has a lot to, manipulate or to circumvent Trump. These issues, I think, can make a lot of pressures on the decision makers in America, and they have to start with peace, because more or less the European country, European continent is volatile, and the matter of the protests anti the government and so on. And we hear that even in Italy, they already some of the top level lawyers there referred Meloni, the Prime Minister, to the International Criminal Law for complicity with Israel since the beginning of 7th of October.
Yeah.
And I think it will be like a devastating, wave in Europe, because we can hear that in France, we can hear that in Britain, we can hear that in Germany and Austria, because Germany and Austria, the most Zionist countries, and I'm attacking them in this program because unfortunately I heard this Merz, the Chancellor of Germany, said in one of his statements that we cannot, if Israel is not being applicable for the Eurovision, this artistic and cultural competition, we will never participate. What the hell is that? Therefore, we have to, America has to take the proper decision in this regard, because unfortunately they took the West to unknown and very gloomy future in that respect.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Sorry, we have to end it here. Our time is up. But thank you very much, Dr. Ahmed Mostafa, as always, for your time and your insight. That was Dr. Ahmed Mostafa, the international relations expert, via Zoom. Dear viewers, please stay with Nile TV. We'll be back in less than 10 minutes with Panorama News.